I'm Nayan, and I'm an 8th grader in Monroe.
Hello, friends. I think many of you remember me. I'm Jennifer Phillips, former teacher at Monroe Middle School.
I'm Abby, and I'm a former Monroe student. I graduated in 2012.
My name is Mr. Mason, and I am one of the music teachers here at Monroe.
Everybody, I'm Beatrice Rowan. I'm the principal at Lynn Haven Elementary School.
I am Miss Fran. I'm an instructional assistant here at Monroe Middle School.
By far, my favorite hobby is playing video games, but I also love reading, traveling, cooking, eating.
I love doing my Girl Scout troop. I love to cook and craft. I love hanging out with my friends and family. I love to travel.
I enjoy playing basketball, watching anime, drawing or painting, listening to music.
Time I play video games or just games overall.
If you've had me as a teacher, you know I love to talk, but I also love hanging out with my friends, connecting with my family, playing music, singing music.
But when I don't have work to do, I am reading, I'm playing with my dog, I'm taking a walk, I'm talking to someone on the phone.
I was born and raised in New Orleans. Decided to take an adventure to Anchorage, Alaska. Didn't know no one. Lived there for eight years or more. And then I decided, I want to see San Francisco. So San Francisco, here I come. San Francisco was too busy. Everything is compact. San Jose was my spot, and here I am today. Of awards I've been given was Outstanding Instructional Assistant 1 year at Monroe, and Outstanding Leader for several years with Girl Scouts.
Getting into college, graduating last year, and then landing my first job out of college.
Definitely becoming a teacher.
The fact that I've had the pleasure of teaching and coaching a lot of young musicians who have become very fine professionals in our field on their own. Some of them are now my colleagues as fellow music teachers. Some of them are working in LA, recording for TV and film. And a couple of them are working on Broadway, both on stage and off stage.
Proudest moments is coming down after 1 year of teaching and being seen as someone that had a lot of qualities and the leadership abilities that you need to have as an administrator. Recently, I found out that I was nominated for Principal of the Year.
My grades, because I always work really hard in school, or I always try to get 4.0 GPAs, and having something to remind me of how hard I've worked is really nice to me.
I think everyone who is a person of color, Black or otherwise, unfortunately has or will at some point experience some form of racism. For me, I've gotten some things that are really obvious, like being called horrible names or having my property vandalized. You know, there more often though are things that we call microaggressions. So for instance, other people will look at me and go, man, you are acting really white right now.
Anything from microaggressions, people yelling derogatory comments at me, having things thrown in my hair, just being asked ignorant questions, to just being on the street and people randomly calling me the M word.
Oh, I don't want to call it racism or whatever, but inequality for students was when I first started working with the 8th graders going on the East Coast trip. I noticed that they were all white kids. None of the kids of color could attend the trip. So I went on the trip, and even on the trip, you hardly saw any African American kids. And I vowed that when I got back to San Jose, I would create a format so that we could have kids of all color, races, everything, attend that trip.
I'm mixed, so my dad is Black and my mom is Filipino. And what's really nice about that is I've been fortunate enough to have really experienced both cultures. But on the other hand, many mixed people will tell you that being a combination of many different cultures too often means that you aren't fully accepted by any of them. You know, it hurts in a much more profound way when the people who are saying negative things about you and about your race are, ironically enough, people that more or less look like you.
Being falsely accused or stereotyped by certain peers or like bosses or teachers throughout my life. I know that because I am lighter skinned, I do have a certain privilege that my dark skinned brothers and sisters do not, and due to that, my experiences don't fully speak on everyone's Black experience.
Being the only Black administrator in Campbell Union School District. At Lynn Haven, I was the only Black teacher. And my previous district, I was the only Black teacher at my school and only one of two in the district. There were a lot of firsts for me up there. I had children tell me they didn't believe I was a teacher because I was Black. They had never seen a Black teacher before. And I was always somebody's mom. I had to be so-and-so's mom. I couldn't be the teacher because they had never seen a Black teacher in their classroom, in their school.
I don't know, I've just always had such a strong sense of resolve, and my parents raised me to understand that it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. In regards to my family, my dad, it breaks my heart when he told me when he was returning home from the military, he had to give up his seat on the bus to a white person and stand up all the way home from Kansas to Michigan after having served his country.
I haven't had any negative experiences because of my skin color, but I have sometimes felt different, especially in school when I was younger, because sometimes I'd be the only Black girl in the class, and I don't know, I was kind of like embarrassed of it. I really don't know why now, because over the more I grew, the more I realized I don't really have to be afraid of that, or I really don't have to be ashamed of it, because this is who I am and I love who I am.
I guess times throughout my life where my accomplishments were disrespected by certain people, like when I got into college, I remember people around me saying, oh, you only got in to fulfill like a requirement, it was because you're Black. If I was into certain things, it'd be like, oh, it's because you're Black, or just have certain jokes that made me feel like some of the things that I worked hard for didn't come from the actual time and effort I put in. School and work where I didn't feel like there was an effort to either represent people like me or my culture or my race in a respectful way.
For a Black woman, your hair is your crown, and you can change your hair every week if you want, which there's times where I have. This isn't the what's seen as beautiful in a lot of people's eyes. It's long hair, it's straight hair, it's long curly hair, but it's not natural Black hair. That's made me stand out a little bit.
Growing up in the South was very racist. The white people owned mostly everything. I mean, I lived in a mixed neighborhood. I went to all African American elementary school, and when I got to 7th grade, my side of the street had to go to the white school. It was very difficult because there was only 17 of us, and they made sure the 17 of us never saw each other, even during lunchtime. Like going back to Mississippi near the Delta, where on the one side of the street where there are white people, and on the other side of the track where there are African Americans or people of color, where the water is starch brown and everybody has these big old pots and they boil their water. On the East Coast trip, when we have downtime, we sit around, we play around with each other. The kids need to have their meds and everything. And one of the guys approached one of the kids and says, oh, God, that's a lot of kids the nanny has, or the babysitter. What is she to you guys? And he says, oh, she's a teacher at school. And he goes, what? He goes, you hear your parents let you come with her? And so when I caught with them, I says, yes, I have brought all 52 of these students. And yes, we're kind of like a family because some of us live in the same neighborhood. Their siblings have come around. And he was really shocked when I told him I was the chief chick in charge. Yes, I was.
The Black experience is something that is unique for every Black person, right? My experience as a Black man is different from Ms. Fran's experience, whose experience is different from somebody like Ms. Phillips, right? And so the reason why that's important to remember is because you have many Black people and other people of color who are prominent people in society and in the media. And so when they go and they start speaking out about something that they feel very passionately about, you really have to remember that they are speaking for themselves. They are not the spokesperson for all Black people or all people of color.
Going through last year was extremely hard. And dealing with my own emotions, thinking about my brothers-in-law who go out every day as Black men, and their names could have been a hashtag.
Through it all, through discrimination and misrepresentation, Black people continue to be resilient, and it's important that regardless of who you are, you educate yourselves on the injustices that Black and African American people face in the US and all over the world. And that's a step towards dismantling like the harmful institutions and mindsets that people have that continue to hurt Black people and its communities.
We are not that different. We really aren't that different than other people. We're all human, we're all people. There's nothing that makes us different than other people. We really are just the same, and there's no reason to say that like just because we're Black or just because you're a different race means that like you're a completely different person or you have to act a certain way.
Yes, I would love to be in a community where I can bring all children up and let them see that there are women, of color who have a master's degree, who maybe don't have children, who are wanting to pursue higher education. But I also feel like it's even more important to be that role model in a community where there aren't a lot of Black women. I feel like I'm doing even more where I am.
It's super important to get to know people as individuals. And we have this golden rule that says to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. But I think we need to sort of get away from that and actually start thinking about treating people the way they want to be treated.
I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud to be what God created me to be and to stand in that truth, whether it's during good times or not good times.
I am your friend. I'm not just for one culture, I'm for all cultures. My old students still call and tell me how much they appreciate me for talking to them one-on-one like I was a mom to them or aunt to them. I believe in instilling, telling every kid they need to strive to reach their fullest potential. As far as myself, I am strong. I am invincible. I am a superwoman.
Even through all the hardships, like Black people continue to be trendsetters, inventors, creators, innovators, and have some of the most amazing cultures. And I'm so happy to be Black.
And every day I just want to live and make not just myself proud, but my ancestors proud. And all of the challenges and triumphs that they've gone through makes me feel, including slavery, proud to have come from that, because that's a strong people.
If you are a young woman of color, the future is all about you. You need to represent yourself, and anything you do, whatever career choice, whatever college you dream to go to, make it happen. Don't let anybody tell you you can't.
I love you all.